We're back with another episode. We're back with another episode of Brit Says Season 3. Whew, I'm back and I'm better than last week. You feel me? Before we kick off the episode, I have to really start reminding y'all, for all of the YouTube watchers, and shoot, if you stream, if you listen on Spotify, Apple, you gotta hit the subscribe button below and hit the post notification bell. You have to hit it. You have to subscribe, people. Like, hello, good morning, good afternoon, because I was checking my analytics and 60%? All I know is majority of the people who watch are unsubscribed. So y'all need to hit the subscribe button. Hello, good morning. So make sure you do that before you go through this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, okay? Follow me on Instagram _Britstagram to keep posted and up to date on my shenanigans, because I do other shenanigans, every once in a while on Instagram. And I post, previews of what you're gonna get from Brit Says on Monday. So definitely hit the subscribe button, get it going. If you listen on Apple, also hit the follow button, do what you gotta do, hit the like, leave a rating, comment, do what you gotta do. Boom. But right now I don't have a name for this episode, but I know what it's about. It's about communication. Send me your location, communication. I don't know if I sing the song right by Khalid, Location, but I was like, let me talk about communication, because I talk about communication a lot this season. And I was just like, I didn't have a topic. As you guys could see, everything is just flowing. I'm moving very differently this season than I have ever moved, due to the uncertainty times of COVID-19. I wanted to be here in the trenches with you and let you know, like, we in this together. So I hope you guys are doing fine during COVID-19, and I'm keeping everybody in my prayers. Anybody who's suffering from it, anybody who's dealing with any mental craziness, I hope that I'm getting you through it with my nonsense and my chitter chatter. And yeah, let's jump into the topic. So, there is no expanding your mind. I'm gonna prepare. I said this week. I'm currently. All right, let me spill the beans. I'm scared to say it, because if I'm inconsistent, I'm gonna feel bad. But I'm not gonna be inconsistent. I'm going to keep my promise to myself. So, the news is Brit Says will not be seasonal. It will be all year round. Woo! So, every Monday I'm going to be coming to you with an episode. It will no longer be seasonal. I might take like a mini break or something. I don't know. Like maybe like during the holidays. It won't be a big break though. Maybe like a week. You might miss an episode for a week. But I'll think about it. It depends. It depends, actually. I won't say that. I do like the idea of seasons, though. I really do. So, if I give you guys a hiatus, it'll probably be like 2 weeks. It will never be 4 months like it usually is, or whatever the case may be. So, yeah. Every Monday, you get to see my little cute face. Coming to you with topics. So I'm gonna start, planning accordingly so that you guys can expand your mind. Hopefully in 2021 you could get guests. We'll see. I really don't know how people will be moving. Even next year, COVID has changed us and people, the way people think, the way people act, everything. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of enjoy doing the show alone. But I do like guests too. I feel like considering the fact that I'm gonna be doing it all year round, that means you guys will get don't make fun of me if I get the number wrong, but you guys will get roughly 70 episodes, I think, or 80 episodes a year. So 80 episodes of me, y'all can handle it. But yeah, every now and then I might have a guest. But yeah, I'm gonna come to y'all more organized starting probably next week. Like, the episodes are gonna be definitely more organized. But like I said, let's jump into the topic. And we're talking communication, because communication is key, honey. I think so many things can be prevented with communication. Like, I feel like in every aspect of your life, your friendships, your love life, your work life, just little things like communication is just like, oops, we lost a little focus. Communication is just like key with like everything. Like, even like a doctor's appointment, what else? Anything. Like, you know how you didn't communicate something, and because you didn't say that, now all this stuff is all messed up, or now you missed this, or now this, you don't know if this or that happened. It's just like, you should have said something, sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? So, first and foremost, why is it so hard for us to communicate? I feel like, of course, one of the first things is fear. You know, fear of how someone is going to react to whatever you need to communicate to them. Or a lot of us don't like to hear no. So you might want to say, look, I want to do this, or I'm going to do this. And because you bent on doing it your way, and you know you want to do it that way, you decided you're just not going to communicate you're going to do it that way. And now because you didn't communicate that, you're creating a recipe for disaster. And you didn't communicate it because you simply didn't want to hear no, or you didn't want to hear a new idea. And I get it. But at the end of the day, communication is key. And we have to start taking L's too. Like, a lot of people, I know some people, I remember I said one time to somebody, like, you're going to have to take an L. And they're like, I don't take L's. I only take W's. Like, honey, like, when you're doing something in a team setting, and a team is a relationship, a friendship. If it's more than one person, y'all a team. Y'all a unit. You're going to have to communicate. Sometimes you cannot do things the way you want to do it. You can't have it exactly the way you want to do it. Sometimes you have to agree with the other person, and sometimes the other person has to agree with you. And sometimes you have to say, you know what? I'm going to take the back seat. And that's just communication. You have to do it that way sometimes. And I think that's where communication is so helpful if you know how to do it properly. Like, sometimes we have to really just understand that everything can't be the way we want it to. And it never will. Even if you get your yes, I know for me, everything is never ever as perfect as I want it to be. And I know they'd be like, then that's your fault. No, it's not. It's just like, it's gonna always be that one little incident that messes up everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, not everything, but you know, it's just mess up the vibe or the mood. But my thing is, I think that a lot of us don't like to communicate because we don't like rejection. And we just like to do things our own way. A lot of us are very cocky, arrogant. I don't know. Like, we just don't. Like, I think it really is the no. And some of us simply suck at communicating. Like, I know, like, if you never said, look, I can't do that. Some people don't want to admit things as well. Like, for instance, let's say I want somebody to design the logo for this water bottle or whatever, because I seen them design, I don't freaking know, some simplistic shit. But he only knows how to design simplistic things. But he never communicated that, maybe because he didn't want to upset me, or maybe because he wanted the, you know, the gig, you know what I'm saying? So then when he designs it, when that design comes to me, I hate it, and it was just all a form of miscommunication. Like, he only does this type of design, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I think often communication gets lost, and that's why it's key. But let's try to break down communication in different instances, I guess. So let's start with communication in relationships. So I think communication in relationships is often sometimes messed up and broken because we I won't speak on every relationship, but maybe sometimes people wait too long to communicate certain things. So let's say you don't like something that your partner does, or whatever the case may be. And you like, I hate when they do this. I hate when they do this. I hate when they do this. They did it again. Da 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 da. Right? And then after like the 5th time, it don't even be the 3rd, because usually the 3rd, honey. But after the 5th time, you be like, you always do that. Why do you always do that? Like, it's common sense not to do that. Like, oh my God. Like, you just start going crazy. Like, it's so much stuff that's lost in communication. And sex, some people don't communicate. Like, you'll be like, yo, I want you, you know, to go down more, you know, or you just, like, you don't like it a certain way, or you don't like doing this a certain way. The bedroom is a place where communication is often lost. And you gotta communicate in those instances, because how you gonna have a great sex life if you don't communicate in those instances? How are you gonna have a great relationship if you don't communicate some of the things you don't like and that you do like, right? And then with that, we can ask ourselves, you know, is that a question though? Can you sometimes ask for too much? No, I don't think so. Asking for too much? What's asking for too much? Because you have some people be like, you always asking for something. Can you ask for too much? I think when people ask for too much, they get the answer yes too much. A person who usually always hears the word yes, always wants something. Because they're going to say yes, they're going to say yes. I think sometimes you can ask for too much. Sometimes, like I said, you just gotta go with the flow. Like, you can't have it your way all the time. Like, it's like, and when I say, it's 2 different ways of saying asking for too much. The one I say ask for too much is when you want somebody to do too much. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about asking, like, when you always need something. Like, you always like, I don't like this, I don't like that, I want this, like, girl, boy, whomever, you're asking for too much. Like, there has to be some boundaries, honey. Like, some people do always need something. You know those people, like, every week, honey. Oh, I don't like this week. Like, when are you ever satisfied? When do you not need something? Like, for real. And even if you do, if sometimes it really be like that with your partner, you be dead hating like 15, 20 things, child. But you cannot bring it all up. You cannot bring it all up at once. Okay, and the thing about relationships too is that when you get a relationship, you already know none of us is perfect, so it's gonna be things you don't like, and you cannot create this perfect person. You're not even perfect, so you can't try to create this perfect person by bringing up everything you don't like about them. Certain things you just gotta be like, that's just, you know, what it is sometimes, because we spoke about that last week. And do people change? You know, some people need to change. Some things is just, you know, little personality defects or whatever. But communication is key in any, you know, relationship. I think that sometimes, maybe even in marriages and stuff, or in regular relationships, people don't communicate because they in a relationship because they don't want it to end. They like, it could be anything, like you settling, or you feel like you're like, you won't find somebody as good as that person you're with, or whatever the case may be. So you'll just settle. You be like, you know what, I'm not going to even bring up what this person did, because then what will happen next? Like, you're scared, you're frightened. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, like, you're scared. Like, if you say you don't like this, then what? Like, what's next? I don't like it, what's next? Type of thing. And that's a tricky road now. Now you're getting tricky, because if you're not communicating because you don't want to lose a person, that's kind of like, now you're just driving yourself insane. You're driving yourself to being miserable, and you don't want to be miserable. Like, do you? I don't know. You gotta balance it out. Like, I don't think you should throw everything at a person at once. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that that's appropriate to just like, I don't like when you do this. I don't like when you do that. I don't like when you do that. Like, what the hell? Like, you can't, and that's not proper communication. Yeah, it's a weird thing to talk about when you talk about it in that way. Like, you don't want to lose that person. If you're dating somebody where you feel like if you communicate something to them, they're ready to go or leave, that person in hindsight is probably really not for you. And let's talk about communication and friendships. Communication and friendships are very tricky. I love Insecure on HBO, written by Issa Rae, and they have a wonderful cast. And Issa, played by Issa Rae, and Molly, played by Yvonne Orji, they're best friends. And currently in the season, if you guys don't watch, they're going through friendship issues, and the friendship issues really are kind of communication based, and to me at least, because you know, I watch the show, I read reviews, and I see the many ways that people interpret the show, which is kind of dope. But for me, I think it's a communication issue. And when I say communication issue, communication could be so much more than just not saying how you feel. Communication is basically two people having a conversation, two people letting things be known, people talking, letting other people speak. So sometimes, you know, in the show, I remember like one episode where Issa, Molly came to Issa's like first event, and it was her event. Like, she was trying to get vendors for her big event called the Block Party. And as soon as she came to the event, she was like, "Oh, girl, you doing your thing? Oh, well, me and," I forgot her boyfriend name currently on the show. She started talking about her and her boyfriend having troubles. Like, it's a time and a place for everything. Like, and it shows when you in a moment with your friend where they doing something big and you know, for themselves, and then you come in with your man drama. That shows you lack understanding of communication. It shows you lack knowing when to communicate, when to, because communication is conversational based. It shows you lack when to know when to speak about something and when not to speak about something. Or even if you guys watch the show, eventually Issa had her big event called the Block Party, and Molly got upset about something, and she decided to communicate it at that moment, at her big event, and it turned into a big argument. Like, she got upset about something that Issa did, and she decided to bring that to her attention at her event. Those are also called communication issues, okay? That's a communication issue. Yes, it is. If you fail to know when and when not to say something, I feel like that's also a communication issue. And those can ruin friendships, those can ruin relationships, those can ruin a lot of things. Because, yes, if Issa did something Molly didn't like, she needs to bring that to her attention. But you have to also understand when to bring it to someone's attention. And to bring it up at a person's event that they planned and they worked so hard on is foul. You know what I'm saying? And I really want to get back into one of their communication issues. I noticed was like, they'll talk, but they'll like talk over each other. And when I say talk over each other, they kind of like, when Issa will start talking about her problems, Molly will kind of like shut her down. Or then when Molly would talk about her problems, Issa would kind of turn around. But they both were doing it. So it wasn't like one person is meaner than the other, or one person is lack communication. It was something that they both did. They don't know how to balance their life and a conversation. And that's a communication issue, because let me tell you why. Because oftentimes when those things happen, what happens is people think that their friend is either narcissistic. Because at first, I think Molly did it first on the season. So I thought Molly was narcissistic. Then I noticed, Issa does it too. So then I'm like, clearly it's a communication issue. They both have an issue with communication or whatever. So when things like that happen, especially in a friendship, you start to think that that person is narcissistic. Or you start to think that that person doesn't care about your problems. They only care about theirs. Or you start to, some people, depending on the situation, let's say Issa is talking about her big event that she planning, and Molly is just going to work every day. She don't plan events. She don't do business related things, entrepreneurial things. That person could be like, oh, I think, like Issa could take it and say, oh, I think Molly is jealous of me because I'm starting a business and I'm planning an event and da da da. In hindsight, nobody's jealous, nobody's narcissistic, and nobody doesn't care about the other person. It's just a lack of communication. It's just they don't know how to flow things in. Can that be a conversational issue? And when I say conversational issue, I mean like, can that be that these people are not good conversationists? Because conversation is somebody who could really be social and holds a conversation and speak. That is really I would say a little bit of a gift. Like I feel like radio hosts and show personalities and stuff like that, they are in some ways conversationists and they can hold a conversation. That could be somewhat of a social issue too. Like it's like basically, and I think in friendships too, what a friend is for is somebody you can vent to, somebody you can talk to. So if y'all are both going through some bullshit, bitch, how the fuck is all that supposed to get communicated in one conversation? It's possible though. And it's all about letting that person speak. So if I come in, this is my friend. Pure is my friend, right? And I come in and I already started off with my drama. I'm here. I'm ready. I came. I started. It's my turn. Oh, my man is getting me so mad. He I don't know. He didn't put the toilet seat down. He's dirty. And then Pure should not come in talking about their problems next. It's not the time for that. Unless it's relatable to my problem. So let's say Pure is dating some dude or whatever. She like, yo, my dude do that too. But let me tell you what you gotta do. Da 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 da. She come with advice on her situation. Or how she handles it. Or whatever the case would be. I feel like she's tying her problems but helping me with mine. Now, if she just let me talk and be like, oh, he never put toilet seat down. Oh, he's such an asshole. He never listens to me. And then Pora's like, yo, that's crazy. But let me tell you what happened at work. That communication is not there. That's not there. That means that you, like, I literally just told you something and you dead ass just threw my shit in the water. Like, you get what I'm saying? That is a form of lack of communication, and that's where a lot of friendships, you know, fuck up. But now I'm thinking, like, how do you know when it's a mental health issue? Let me not say mental health, because mental health issue is a big word. What's the word I'm trying to think of? How do you know when it's just like, no, well, not being narcissistic is technically a mental health issue. How do you know if that person is narcissistic or don't care about you, or they're a fake friend, or if they just lack communication? Now, this is how you would know. By communicating. First, you need to say, yo, I literally just came in here, and you got to do it on the spot. And that's where a lot of us fuck up. A lot of us don't do it on the spot. And we let that shit rock. Like, wow, she really just changed the topic. And then you let the conversation keep flowing. I'm good for that. A lot of people's good for that. Like, we'll just like, you won't even notice it, that they even switch the topic on you until you go home later that day. Like, yo, I dead came in, telling her my problems, and then she dead switched the topic. So I get that too. So that's why when people are talking to you, you have to really pay attention. And you have to pick up the P's and the Q's and the Q's and the cons and the cons and the pros. You got to pick them all up so that you notice what's going on. You get what I'm saying? So as soon as that happens, I'll be like, oh, blah, blah, don't put the toilet seat down. And then they be like, yeah, that's crazy. But let me tell you what happened at work. You need to be like, dang. Y'all gotta know how to play. Like, I'm a playful person. Like I always say, like, I play. I'll be like, oh, if you want to be serious, shit, be serious. Be like, yo, I'm telling you something. And you switch the topic. And it could get awkward. That could be awkward if you just call it out in that moment. That could make it awkward. But y'all gotta be mature. We gotta start being mature. Like, for real. Like, I feel like if you call somebody out on something in that moment, they shouldn't get upset that fast. In the real world, in hindsight, that's what we really want. I feel like if you be like, yo, I just dead told you something, and you dead just shutting my story out, it could make it awkward. But I feel like now that I'm talking about it, if you ever in that situation, you should be like, yo, you right, my bad. What happened? What's the key? Elaborate. Just take it for what it is. Like, a lot of us don't like to take losses. A lot of us don't like to hear feedback. Like, just take it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, just grasp it and hold it in and just take it for what it is. Like, don't get mad when somebody call you out on your bullshit. Like, or not even bullshit, or on a mistake. Sometimes we do stuff about just like mistake. Maybe when your friend came over to your house, you had something on your mind, she had something on your mind, y'all all got something on your mind, and now y'all just talking. Like, so I just feel like it's good to call out in the moment, even though it might be awkward, but you don't want to hold that in, because then when you hold it in, now you're making it a thing where you might have to end that friendship. Or maybe they do it all the time and they don't notice it until you call them out. And then when to know when really that person is indeed, you know, a narcissist, or just don't give a fuck about you. They just using you as a venting bag. Like, you just a little venter. Like, they use you for advice. They don't ever want to hear you the fuck out. You know, like, not everything is a mistake. Like, if you've been friends with this person for like mad long, some of y'all be friends with people for like years. Like, if you my age, I will hope or think most of your friends, like, you know, maybe because we've been out of high school, but like almost 10 years. I've been out of college for 7 years. So you make most of your friends in high school, college, middle school. So on average, you probably had known most of your friends for what, 10 years, 7 to 10 years. If you had gathered some new friends maybe from work, it might even be 5 years. So if you've been friends with somebody for 5 years plus and they do the same shit all the time, is it really a mistake? Honestly. Now, have you ever called them out on it? And that's where communication is lost. I feel like, now that's a question. Is everything a means of calling out somebody on it, or you could just tell off rip, like, this person is ain't shit? Alright, let me not say ain't shit. Just because somebody lacks communication doesn't mean they're a bad person. It could just be a personality defect. And a friend could say that. A friend could be like, well, you never telling me that. Me and you've been friends for 5 years. You never said nothing to me, but you gonna just stop talking to me over some dumb shit. Da 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 da. You was never my friend. That's called gaslighting. Okay. I don't know. And do sometimes we create these problems. And when I say create these problems, I mean, are you the friend that people look at like, oh, you know, like those memes, the strong friend, or the friend that, like, when you complain, you don't really complain, you don't really cry, you barely complain, like, you always seem happy, you always seem like your shit is in order. Sometimes, yeah, that could be your fault. I don't like the word it's your fault. Like, it's like, ugh. But you know what I mean. Like, it could be because of how you carry yourself, which is not a bad thing. But you do need to hold yourself in some ways. Like, dang, I don't complain. So I rarely complain. And when I do complain, people like, she gonna figure it out, da 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 da, or whatever. And I'm like that sometimes, because I'm very private. It's not, and then a lot of people think people who are like that, they just want to pretend to be perfect. It's not that we want to pretend to be perfect. Me, I can speak for myself, it's more of a protection thing. One, not just protection, like, I think they'll use those things against me. People do gossip about you. Protection meaning, I like to protect the people around me. I don't want them to get consumed in my problems. When people call me with their problems, sometimes I get consumed in it. I don't ever want to be that person that's always calling about their problems and having people consumed in my bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, those people who always call you like, oh my god, this person died, oh my god, like, they so problematic. You don't want to get consumed. You don't want people to ever, I don't ever want to be that type of person for somebody. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't ever want to be the problem person. Like, girl, I know when Brittany called me, it's going to be some drama. And that's not to say I want to be perfect. It's that I don't want to be actually a burden on that person I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't want to give them something to be stressed out about. Now, some could say, maybe you're not that big. And when I say you're not that big, I mean, maybe you could call somebody with your problems, and guess what? After they hang up the phone, they're done with you. Meaning, you look too big of yourself. You think too highly of yourself. You think that once you tell somebody your problems, they're gonna get consumed in it. And I could be wrong. I don't know. Either way, I don't like to tell people my problems, but I do still feel like as soon as somebody comes to you with something, you should be able to hear them out and listen, regardless of if you feel like they're gonna handle it. Like that's why I mean, like, oh, I don't want to hear your problems because I know you're gonna fix it. So what's the point of me listening to your problems? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I think that's still kind of fake rude. You feel me? Like, I don't know. And you gotta feel it out. Like, if somebody could come to you with all their problems and you can't come to them, I do think it's open for discussion first. That's one of the things I do want to keep in mind. Like, don't just like label somebody. I was good for that years ago. Like, I'll label somebody off the rip, like, oh, I know what type of person they are. Don't ever just label somebody away until you call them out on it. And that's where communication is definitely key. When you can talk about something and then, you know, something happens, then you call them out on it. After you call them out on it, see if there's change. If there is no change, that's when you can label that person. That's my personal opinion. Because it's one thing if you do something, you see somebody do something, you never call them out on it. Because you never know. Sometimes people do shit. It might be the week, it might be the day, it might be the month, it might be a mistake. But if you call them out on it and they continue to do the same shit, that's just who that person is. And that's just that on that. You feel me? So that's just how I look at things in an aspect of friendships. When it comes to communication, communication is so key. That's what a friendship is for. Communication. So if you can't even get that together, honey, like, what does it all really mean? Truthfully. Like, I feel like that's like majority of a friendship is communication. If you want a friend, you basically looking for somebody to hang out with, talk to, vibe with, key with. Like, that's all friendship is. Ain't no more than that. Really. Like, what else comes out of that? Like, love, support. That's it. So if you can't communicate in a friendship, if your friend can't communicate with you or listen to you or hear you out, honestly, that's really not your friend. And that's just me. And then professional communication, meaning at work or in business or in anything, I think is so vital. And I had to... Did I have to learn that? Yeah. In some ways, like, me, I'm big on communication. Like, if I need something in business or, you know, anything, let me tell you why. Also, like, in the work field, in the work world, like, outside of, like, business or entrepreneurial thing, it's called CYA. I know anybody who work a 9 to 5 or who work wherever you work, you heard of CYA. It's called covering your ass. When you have communication, when that thing was discussed, whatever you needed to discuss, it was discussed. So now you're covering your ass. Because you could be like, look, I told A, B, or C to do this. Why it wasn't done, I don't know. Now, if you never communicated to that person, like, this needs to get done on this date and that time, now your ass is on the line. You feel me? So that's why communication is so key at work. I think that's one of the top reasons why communication is key at work, just to cover your ass. CYA, like, period. Communication is key at work too, because work is easy, but people make it hard, honey. Somebody told me that before, and you know what? I don't think it could be but so much communication at work. I think as you get older and you become more mature, it's but so much you could do. Like, work ain't a place to be making friends in the first place. If you make a friend, you're lucky. If you don't, you don't. And somebody upset you at work on some corny shit, I don't think it's a means for you to, like, call them out on it, honestly. Not all the time. If it's like something serious where they disrespected you in front of your Like, what's the people under you? I forgot. But y'all know what I mean. Like, people who are under you, yeah, you gotta call them out on that. Like, yo, don't ever disrespect me in front of my, you know, the people that I manage or whatever the case may be. Those are things you call people out on. Anything business, work, professionalism related. People being petty at work, that's not a means to call them out on things like that. But things that really impact your work life and who you are and what you stand for, yeah, that needs to be discussed. Business-wise, entrepreneur-wise, you know, communication is key. To me, I'm big on how long people take to answer emails. Time, dates, confirmations, you know, those things need to be communicated. Pricing. What do you want to do? How do you want it? And also, too, I feel like a lot of people are scared to, like, communicate how they want things done. Especially when you like a first-time business owner. If I ask for something, you know, I ask you to make a logo or something, and you bring me some blurry shit, like, I'm not about to cash you out. Like, that needs to be discussed. Like, a lot of people don't want to do the back and forth, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, let's say I ask you for something in business and we in communication. Like, I want it to look like this, 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 and this. And they bring you back something that look like what you ain't asked for. So you're like, okay, I like this start. Some people are scared to keep going back and forth with a person on something you want in your business. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you don't like the way something look and they keep bringing you mock-ups back to back to back, and you don't like the first one, you don't like the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, you need to say something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times because you're paying for it, and it's something that is a reflection of you. And I think that sometimes people want to look like, it's going to make them look like they're not easy to work with, and that's not the case. It's not that you're not easy to work with, it's just you like things done a certain way. And especially being a female, you know, when we too combative or too much, that means that we're, what's the word, we're a bitch, we're bossy, we're not like strong-headed or anything like that. But for me, when it comes to business, I'm big on that. Like, just wanting things a certain way, respect. Like, I feel like sometimes, you know, I'll email people, want to connect with people, and I feel like they feel like they're higher than, or when people say they're going to do something and they don't do it, I kind of hold people to that. And I'm going to give y'all the key on that too. You know, I kind of hold people to the things that they say and do. And I get that people are sometimes scared. Does that make sense? Like, when you a new business owner too, or when you doing something, you got to not be afraid to do collaborations and talk and conversate with people. Like, you could be scared but still do it. That's what I mean. Like, when I do stuff, sometimes I'm nervous, like when I meet different guests or whatever, but I'm gonna still do it. Like, I'm not gonna like run away from it because I'm nervous to talk to people. And I understand that some people have like social anxiety and stuff like that, but if you are like that, just know, like, I don't know, like, just know what it is. Like, don't even answer my email. Like, be like, you know, I can't collab with you. Like, it's not gonna work because I got social anxiety. Don't say that in the email, but just be like, oh, I can't collab right now. Maybe next year. Like, simple and plain. Feel me? Like, Summer Walker, she want to be a singer but can't do a tour. You can't do a performance. It's like one of the most important parts of being an artist, you know. But yeah, you know, that's how I view communication in business. It's just like, one, not being afraid, making it look like you hard to work with. It's not about being hard to work with, and especially when you're giving people money. Also, your time is valuable. So when you communicating too, if you got a plan, be like, look, are you available on this day, this day, this day, at this time? Don't give people too much room for adjustments. People got to work around your time. Like, communication is so key in business, but in such an analytical way. Like, if you want a dollar amount, say the right dollar amount. If you want to do something at this time, say that time. If you're only available on this day, say that date. Don't let people bring things to you in business. Meaning, like, if you know for the month of June you're not going to be available the 15th, the 24th, and the 28th, and the 30th. In your head, you should be thinking like, all right, this person want to collab with me. Let me let them know I only could do it on this date. And when that person sees it, they're going to try to figure out, you know, what they could do, what things they could do, what adjustments they could do. So with business, I think about communication is about really being like on point. Like you just got everything you need together. Like you got your numbers, you got your times, you got your dates, you just have everything. That's what communication is in business. Like, you know exactly what you're talking about, exactly what you want to do, exactly how you want it, and exactly how you're going to do it. That's the difference between communication in business and anything else. Like, to me, like, it's all about just knowing. And you always got to know what you're talking about in business. Like, that's just when I think of communication in business. And being social too. You know, going out, being able to network and just build good relationships and being respectful as you can, because those things travel with you. You see what I was talking about? If y'all don't know, if you a streamer on YouTube, I do like little celebrity gossip moments and stuff like that. So yeah, and you know, you guys can check that out. Just like with Ellen, you know, she was an asshole. It caught up with her. So I think it's about being respectful in business too. It's a form of communication, and yeah, that's all I can think of right now. But you know, I broke down my communication barriers, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, hit the subscribe button, hit the post notifications, hit the like, leave a review, comment, and share, and keep rocking with me on Britt Says. And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys are just thriving through this quarantine. I know you are. If you a Britt Says listener, you just gotta be set up for success. And yeah, I'm gonna keep coming to y'all, give me y'all content. That's all I can do. And I will see you guys next week.